feel like the 17 and 20 on the penalty kill this weekend was a step in the right direction to getting that back on track?
Yeah, you know, two of those 3 goals were 4-on-3 and 5-on-3. So, you know, watching those goals in particular on tape, those are just a matter of just small little execution things. Obviously, the main concern with that is 20 penalties over 2 games. I mean, I don't blame that on the refereeing. I blame it on our decisions at times, and they have to be better. I don't think to this point we were a team that I was worried about us taking too many penalties, but obviously last weekend it's something we need to just stay on top of to make sure it doesn't get out of hand and make sure it doesn't become a habit that we're having to kill off 10 penalties a game. But I do think killing off that many was a step in the right direction.
Do you feel like killing off that many penalties kind of wore your guys down at the end of Saturday's game, and that's why Notre Dame was maybe able to take control of that game?
I personally don't think so, because I thought they took pretty much control of the first period on Saturday night. Even though the score was 2-1 for us after the first period, I really felt our first period wasn't very good. Like we've talked about from the beginning, we're struggling with consistency right now, and I thought we put ourselves in a great situation after a great effort on Friday to possibly have another good result Saturday night. But it was going to have to be another great effort, because we knew Notre Dame was going to play better and respond and, you know, play a real focused game to get the split. We weren't able to match that intensity, and I don't think we got worn down before that happened. You know, that was to me right at the beginning of Saturday night's game. So no, I don't think we were too worn down to sustain our work ethic from Friday at the beginning of the game Saturday due to our penalties.
Even with the way the game went Saturday, you guys were still within striking distance there at the end, but the 2 penalties late, kind of this killed any momentum you could have had.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, we did not have a good 40 minutes, but we still went into the second intermission break down 2 goals, and we scored right at the beginning of the third. And, you know, had we been able to just find a way, and again, I think that's a sign of a good, mature team that maybe doesn't have their game at the beginning of the night when the puck drops, but can find their game as the game goes on, so to speak. We still have proved that we can't do that yet. You know, if we don't have it early, we have been struggling trying to find it over the 60 minutes. You press for a 60-minute effort, but if you don't have it in the first 20, okay, let's put that aside and focus on the next 20. We haven't been able to do that just yet, but I agree with you. We were still within striking distance. And hopefully, as we mature as a team, we can start to find a way to win games like that and rally for a good, focused, hard 20 minutes and pull a victory out of a night where we weren't very good from start to finish. But we're not quite there yet.
With the game Nick Eno played on Friday, did you ever give any consideration to possibly starting him on Saturday as well?
Nope. We feel like they both had 5 games to evaluate. We feel like they've both had some strong performances and some not so strong performances. So I think that our goaltending situation is where I was hoping it would be in terms of the level and us having a legitimate 1-1 situation. Going into last weekend, had there been one person inching their way up, it would probably have been Hammond, who had played 2 pretty good games back to back. Even though the one in Alaska was a 4-1 loss, it was 44 shots. I mean, he had 40 saves or something crazy like that. But you know, in all kudos to Nick Eno. I mean, we had our individual meeting. We challenged him a little bit. He challenged himself. You could see it in practice, and had a great effort. So congratulations to Nick, and I'm glad that he did that, and we can stay on this path of he playing Friday nights and Andrew Hammond playing Saturdays. So we don't have to put all the emphasis on one guy to carry this team. I still feel like defensively we're giving up too many shots. And with that being said, you know, we don't think it's fair one of our goaltenders has to face 80 shots on a weekend. Now, you know, we want to cut down on the shots against, but we're in a situation where we don't need to have a number 1 goaltender. We can have 2 number 1s.
As far as the penalties are concerned, having too many penalties, is that a result of being too aggressive, or maybe not smart enough? Or what?
I think on Friday it was over-aggressive. I really do. Looking back at that game, you know, we had, I can think of a roughing, a charging, a boarding. I mean, you know, aggression penalties, you know, and we'll kill those off all day long. The issue we had on Saturday was those roughings and boardings became hooking and holding. And those are lazy. Those are not ready to compete. Those are when you're not quite ready on a face-off, you take a hook. When you're not quite ready to defend a one-on-one and you trip somebody because your stick's not in the right position, all of a sudden now you're trying to scramble and react to not being sharp on the front end of that play. So I think it was a tale of two different nights. We got a little frustrated late on Saturday night's game. I think we took Krylov had the hit from behind, which it's one of those ones you go into somebody, he feels you touch him in the back, and all of a sudden he blows up like he'd been shot. Not necessarily. It's tough to tell on tape if that's what happened. That's what it looked like. Andrew's not a kid that runs people from behind, but anyway, that was the call, and I do think it was a tale of two different nights. Friday was out of aggression. Saturday was more laziness, not ready to be sharp right when the play started.
How do you go about finding a balance between those two, where you're still aggressive but not aggressive to the point where you're taking?
It's a great point. We the only way I know is we don't really get after guys for taking penalties out of aggressiveness. The three penalties I'm thinking of in particular, like Grover had, okay, on Friday night. He had a boarding, a roughing, and a charging. And we've been trying to get Max to play like that. And I think in all three of those situations, he personally, those were good, hard hockey plays. So it's positive reinforcement. It's making sure, hey, keep playing like that. We'll kill those off. And hopefully on another night, the call won't go against you. Whereas if we see a hitting from behind or a high stick to the mask, we're saying, hey, you got to be smarter than that. So I think it's just all based on your reinforcement. You reinforce the hard hockey plays, and some nights you get called and some nights you don't. And that's the trouble most coaches have with refereeing, is that inconsistency. And then on the other nights where it's where you see the hit from behind, or you go into a hard situation with your stick in the air versus on the ice. So then it's more of a teaching time where, hey, we still want you to be aggressive there, but have your stick on the ice. Or we still want you to be aggressive there, but if you see his numbers, you have to be able to hold up a little bit. So I personally feel it's all in the reinforcement on the play to that in particular kid and to your team total in general, how you handle it as a staff. And the way we handle it was, we'll kill penalties off like that. Let's play hard. We want to be a hard team to play against, and we thought Friday night we were. And Saturday night we were just lazy and not ready to go right away.
Anything else, guys?
Yeah, when you look at your power play and penalty kill, are you looking for like 15% of the power play, 90 on the penalty kill? Or?
We're looking for 90 on the penalty kill for sure, Kevin. I think it's fair to say between 15 and 20 on the power play. I don't see any reason why that can't be realistic. But as you said, 6.5% and 75%. Obviously, those two numbers aren't acceptable, and it's something that, to me. Obviously, you want your talent level to be high in the power play, so guys can go out there and make plays at that level and are rewarded for it with goals. But you can still have a good power play just out of hard work and effort. We need to get to more loose pucks. And I thought this weekend, on Friday in particular, we did a pretty good job. Saturday, I don't think we had any power plays, or very, very few. And then on the penalty kill, again, I think we implemented a new system. So it's a more of an aggressive penalty kill where you're not standing around. But with that aggressiveness, you have to be able to block shots, and you have to be able to anticipate without cheating. And there is a difference. Anticipating is one where you kind of read a play and anticipate it going there, but you don't go stand there and cheat and hope. And we're still in the middle of that. And then once we get that down, then we have to execute it on a daily basis. And I see the execution coming on the penalty kill. And as you said, to kill 17 out of 20, that's not too bad. We got to limit the number we have to kill. And then when we do have those opportunities to kill, we got to get it done. So I think to say, between 15 and 20 and 90 is the goal. But our focus is just to get better. We haven't talked to the kids about numbers. We just want results. We want results every game. And that, to us, is about the process. Whether you're on the penalty kill or power play, there is a process to it. And we have to be better at those processes more consistently.
Talk about Northern Michigan this weekend, what Bowling Green can expect out of them.
I think you can expect a good, solid effort. You always can, especially going up there. Sometimes when you get them on the road, one night you may catch them on the night where they got their bus legs, and the next night they find it. My experience has been one where I think I'm way under 500 when it comes to Northern Michigan games against Northern Michigan. I think Walt does a great job of getting the most out of each kid. I think they play a pro style of game. They have that big ice sheet up there in Marquette, and we have to be ready to go. We did not play very well on the big ice sheet in Alaska 2 weeks ago. We're going to learn from it, hopefully. We do have a long trip as well, but we're taking all day Thursday. We'll get up there plenty of time to have a good skate on Thursday night and then a skate Friday. There's no reason we shouldn't be ready to go, and we have to be ready to go, or Northern will jump on us hard and you know, obviously leave it to chance for us to get the results we're looking for. But we think that if we can learn from what we've done, all 10 games so far, make some adjustments, be better from the start of the game on Friday night, hopefully we'll give ourselves the best chance.
What sort of adjustments have to be made on the bigger sheet of ice?
I think from a defensive standpoint, you really have to make aware of where you are on the ice from the defenseman. You cannot find yourself getting outside the dots. You have to stay dots in versus you don't want to be dots or outside the dots and have to work your way back in the middle of the ice. If you have to go outside, that's fine. We can do that. And then offensively, there's so much room in the corners. You've really got to pay attention to getting the puck to the net. You can't just control the puck in the corners just to control it there. You have to still focus on bringing the puck to the net and you know, hopefully creating offense that way. Penalty kill wise, with our pressure, you've got to be careful about skating yourselves to areas where you're never going to be able to recover because it's so far out there. But other than that, I think I don't want our guys to get too worried about it and too caught up in it. We're still going to play our game, play hard, focus on the process and working hard at that level, and that's what we always do. So that'll be the key. But having played there 2 weeks ago will give them they'll be familiar with it, our guys, and hopefully we can have the better efforts.